Once again, right hand coming right at the same time that Peden was shooting a jab with his elbows bent and shooting it from too low.
By CompuBox estimate, Peden only threw 34 punches in round 5. If he's not going to throw 50 or 60 punches around, he just isn't going to create enough offense to deflect Juan Manuel Marquez and knock him off course.
Barring a knockout, it's going to be very difficult for Peden to win this fight because the momentum and the rhythm is favoring Marquez. The only thing at this stage that Peden can do, since he's being beaten anyway, is to be busier. He should pick up his volume of punches because he seemingly has a lot of energy still, and it doesn't seem to be tiring. But his volume of punches is too low.
And his face is beginning to swell. He doesn't yet have visual problems, but there's a beginning of swelling around his eyes and the rest of his face from getting tattooed with all those punches Marquez lands. There's a slip as Marquez goes down, but maybe a little bit of a confidence builder for Peden.
Yeah, I think it was. Even though it was a slip, I think it's still just to see an opponent go down gives a little energy to you. He's just standing over him.
Watch your head.
Uppercut almost landed big for Marquez. Peden's got a good beard.
Yeah, Peden doesn't have really a defense for a right hand. Some guys roll the shoulders when they shoot a right hand. Some guys slip over to the left. He just pretty much just takes them. And even if you can take those punches and you don't get knocked out, sooner or later when the human flesh is being hit on continually, something is going to have to give. Which means you're going to end up with an injury or a bad swelling eventually.
Peden came back off that big right hand with a left hook that was one of his more effective punches of the fight. No sign yet, as Larry pointed out, that Peden has robbed Marquez of any confidence. Marquez seems to feel that he can do what he wants to do.
Well, that time at least Peden had his hand up.
Yes, that's one of the few times that he blocked it right in. It's easier to count the ones that he blocks than it is the one he gets hit with now.
Both fights are significant, but here at Pittsburgh, crowd noise will tell you the main event takes place when Paul Spadafora enters the ring. Spadafora, by now the most famous of Pittsburgh fighters since light heavyweight legend Billy Conn 50 years ago. Tonight, Spadafora stepping up in class to defend against Angel Manfredy, who's been in with a lot of the best.
Come out high. Just land that left hand down. You got caught with one right hand in that round. Keep that left hand up. Not that big a punch.
You got to keep throwing those left hooks. Keep throwing those left hook uppercuts. Speed. Doesn't matter if you don't hit hard, but just keep that speed. It's going to do it. Jabs, and keep the head down. How do you feel? Do you feel okay? Yeah.
Fight is scheduled for 12 rounds because it is a title eliminator. The winner in line for a shot at IBF 135-pound belt holder Manuel Medina. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Chip, I got it 5 rounds to 1, 59-55, one Manuel Marquez, based on, that clean, effective punching. He's just out punching him, hitting him with the right hand. But, Jim, I got to tell you, in round 4, the round that I did give to Peden, he bloodied Marquez's nose, and I really believe from the bottom of my heart that Marquez is swallowing blood, because a lot of times if you watch him, his mouth will be wide open. He's breathing through his mouth because when he breathes through his nose, he swallows blood from his nose. So this may hurt him later in the fight. It may slow him up. I don't know. So far, Marquez with a big lead.
What about a fighter swallowing blood, Emmanuel?
Oh, it definitely can make you weaken as the fight goes on, and sometimes become very nauseating.
Meldrick Taylor against Julio Cesar Chavez, March 17, 1990.
Yeah, he was bleeding.
Meldrick swallowed so much of his own blood, he was sick.
Oh, my God, his body was bleeding, his kidneys, everything.
Big right hand over the top by Peden, I should say. Juan Manuel Marquez trying to break Robbie Peden down from the outside and continue what has become a string of 6 consecutive knockouts coming in.
Yeah, it's funny tonight he's fighting a fight with a lot of technical skills instead of punching power. I don't believe that he'll knock out Peden, even though it may happen, but I think it's good for him to get this experience and to demonstrate his boxing skills, and to prepare him better for a big fight later on down the road, particularly in a 12-round fight with, let's say, a guy like Morales.
Great combination.
Yeah.
The great thing about his combinations is how opponents feel that.
Peden landed a good right hand himself, and right away Marquez returned with about 4 big punches together, all of them combinations.
Still, the blood flows from Marquez's nose.
Yeah, Marquez said at the fighters meeting that he was going to outbox him, use combinations. He's doing everything that he said he was going to do. A variety of punches and using great boxing skills.
Good conditioning, too. Marquez has been up on his toes all through the fight. Big right hand.
Peden just really goes back. He doesn't really have a real defense for a right hand. He just hopes that he's out of range. And if he's not out of range, well, so be it.
Robbie Peden busts Marquez with a left hook at the end of the round, but all in all, it was another big round for Juan Manuel Marquez and his laser right hand. Starting March 28, look for the return of On the Record with Bob Costas. After last season's successful debut, look for more of Bob with special guests from the worlds of sports and entertainment.
So you actually had a tryout with the Reds when you were a teenager.
2 of them. I had an 85-mile-an-hour ball come at my head, and I just threw myself on the ground like a little girl, and the ball just whoop, dead, and they all just fell on the ground laughing.
Please note On the Record's new day and time, Thursday nights at 10:30 p.m., only on HBO.
Now you got to put some pressure. You got to put a lot more pressure now. Keep your head down and put a lot more pressure.
Peden told us that he came to America to become a professional because he didn't want to be one of those Australians who built up a record and came to America and just got beaten by the best fighters. But so far, that's exactly what is happening to him.
Round 7, a CompuBox wipeout for Marquez, 29 of 48, 60% connect percentage in the round for Marquez, who, if anything, is becoming more accurate as the fight goes on. Robbie Peden, 14 out of 40. It's not a bad round numerically for him based on what has come before, but he's just getting hit too much, too sharply, too well by Juan Manuel Marquez.
The most successful Australian fighter is not a native Australian. He's Kostazou, the Russian fighter who settled in Australia and is the undisputed junior welterweight champion of the world.
He had a brilliant amateur career. I think he represented Russia as an amateur. He was a fantastic amateur. I think over 300 amateur fights. Very successful against the Cuban fighters as well as the American fighters.
His thunderbolt knockout earlier, toward the end of last year against Zab Judah. Costa Tszyu has become one of the big ticket items in the sport, the kind of guy you fight for big money if you get the chance.
I don't really think he's become, you know, a big box office attraction. He's a big fighter. But so far he hasn't proven to be a box office attraction in the U.S.
I think Zab Judah himself brought more publicity possibly into the fight than Costa Tszyu in that last fight.
Things heating up a bit here.
Here in Pittsburgh, Robbie Peden trying to make a fight of it against Juan Manuel Marquez, and Peden lands a left hook as he corners Marquez.
The problem is when they're getting close in those exchanges, he's trying to deliver punches with his hands down, and Marquez is delivering his with his hands up. And this is just general mathematics. Distance is the fact that his punches are more point to point, but Peden's is coming from below, and as a result, he's out punching.
Marquez, a 2-to-1 favorite, performing like a 5-to-1 favorite so far tonight.
You got to back this man up and hit him. You can't back him up and look at him. All right?
Hold that bucket up here.
It's the 8th round coming. 9th round coming.
Hold that bucket up here. Are you tired? A little bit. But I'm okay. I'm okay. You gotta use that jab. Keep jabbing. Let him come to you, then turn around and hit him. You're only playing. You got the fight almost won. Throw to the body and move your head around.
Round 8 numbers very similar to those in round 7. Marquez